Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm sorry I'm late today. Had a slight technical problem. My name is Hamish. I am going to be taking this IELTS speaking preparation class. Now, I think the first 2 minutes are for premium users. So if you're a premium user, please join the class right now, and we can get moving. The premium option is for students who are very keen to take a particular class. It gives them an opportunity to make sure that they get a seat in our virtual classrooms. So if you're interested in giving that a try, have a look at options to upgrade your membership, and you can join me in these first 2 minutes. As I'm still waiting for students, so I'm going to let you know that yesterday we're looking and focusing on the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. We're going to especially focus on part 2 of the IELTS speaking, and that is part of the speaking exam that runs for around 3 to 4 minutes, and it consists of what the IELTS examiners call a long turn. And a long turn means the examiner is going to give you one question, and you will have 1 minute to prepare, to take notes. Oh, hello, good to see you. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to give your answer. And so when the examiner asks you that one question, you won't get any more questions in part 2 for the duration of the answer you give, whether it's for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, so on. I'm going to say hello to Medhat Ibrahim. Hello. Oh, I can't hear you. Is your microphone on, Medhat? Check your settings. I want to say hello to you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So I'm going to wait to see if you get any luck with that. Okay. Here we have some. Oh, there we go. Medhat, do you want to try again? I think I heard your microphone come on there. Oh, we shall see how that goes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to say hello to everybody here, and we're going to get moving because I want to get lots of practice for everyone here today. Right, first of all, I'm going to say hello to, is it Ahmed? Hello, Ahmed. Zezo.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you again.
Very good to see you. Welcome back to class. How are you today?
I am fine.
Excellent. Well, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. It's again a beautiful day here in Tennessee. Blue skies, all that good stuff. So good to see you, and thank you. You are number 1 on my list today, so it's going to be a good feeling. All right. I'm going to say hello to.
It's not my first class.
No, I know, and that's welcome back, up, man. Haku, hello. Haku, can you hear me okay? I'm going to wait for Haku to make any adjustments to microphones, that sort of thing. Michele, hello, Michele.
Hi, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm very fine. There is a very beautiful sun today in Italy.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're sharing the good weather today, and I like that. Well, I look forward to practicing IELTS speaking with you today, Michele. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you too, teacher.
All right. I want to say hello to hello, Mina. Hello, and welcome back.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
Excellent. And since we're talking about the weather, how is the weather with you today, Mina?
It's sunny too.
Oh, excellent! My goodness, it's sunny all over the world today. I mean,
yes.
It must be a good sign. I think a good sign for IELTS preparation today. Mina, thanks so much for joining us. I look forward to speaking to you more. I want to say hello to is it Yi Liu? I know I did a terrible job with that name.
Hello.
Yi, tell me, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, and tell me, where are you from, Yi?
I'm from China.
China, okay. Well, since we're talking about the weather, how's the weather in China?
It's I think I live in the southwest of China in Sichuan province. It's always very wet, and now it's cold and wet. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a shame. Okay, there's one place in class today where the weather isn't so good. Tell me, I mean, in the summertime, is it hot where you are in the summer?
Yeah, summer is hot and also very wet.
Oh, still wet. Okay.
Yeah, the whole year is always very wet. It's
Really?
raining a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I must admit there are times here in Tennessee where I would like a little bit of a rain. So, but you know what? Tell me, are you planning to take the IELTS exam?
Actually now I'm not, but I think I'd better to practice my pronunciation.
Okay, okay, and that's something we can definitely do in class today. So, very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Yusuf, hello, Yusuf. Welcome back.
Yes, hello. Hi, Hamish.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Good to see you again. We are going. So I'm going to try again to say hello to Haku. Hello, Haku. I can't hear you. Oh, hello. There you go. Hello, I can hear you now.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Haku?
I'm good.
Okay, okay. Well, well, welcome to class. Good to see you. And I will say...
I have a question.
Oh, who's that? Oh, okay. Yes, hello. Yeah, sure.
Last class it was about TOEFL, right?
It could have been. I do TOEFL preparation and IELTS preparation classes here on Verbling. So the last one you came to may well have been TOEFL, yes.
All right.
And there'll be another TOEFL preparation class this week as well. So I like to do both, and sometimes we'll talk about the differences between both. And I mean there are significant differences between what happens in the exam and the kind of things.
Which one is easier? Is it IELTS or TOEFL speaking section? When we are talking about the IELTS and TOEFL, can you compare of each other?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think one is really easier than the other. I think it's important to choose the one that's going to help you, whether it's...
As my experience, I think that the TOEFL is harder in speaking section because you are talking about the machine, and there is a specific idiom, specific type of answer you must follow. But but when we compare to the IELTS we are talking about the human, like it's a real communication.
I think that's a really important point, Ahmed. I'm glad you raised that point, because you're correct in that yes, in the IELTS we're speaking with a human examiner in that room, and it's just you and the examiner. And in TOEFL, you could be in a classroom or a sort of an internet room with a lot of other students, all using headphones, speaking into the microphone, and that's and that can be difficult, and I know that can be distracting for a lot of students to hear all those different voices, and yet we still need to concentrate on our exam. I think some students find that quite difficult. Other students really don't have a problem with that. So I think in terms of easy and hard, it really comes down, I think it's much more important to think, well, which one do I need? If I want to study, if I want to continue my education in an English-speaking university, well, sometimes they'll ask for an IELTS score. Sometimes they'll ask for a TOEFL score. And I give the example, if someone wants to emigrate to Australia, for example, they want an IELTS score. It's very unlikely they would ask for a TOEFL score, or that they would accept a TOEFL score. They want the IELTS one. So sometimes you have a choice, I would say, because we're seeing a merging of these two exams. I mean, some places will accept both, but still the traditional approach is that a North American school would ask for the TOEFL score, and a British, for example, school
Yes.
would ask for the IELTS. So a lot of the time, we just need to go ahead and ask that school. Or if we're emigrating or we need a work visa, we ask the embassy, and they'll let us know. It's not a that there's
But the
no
British
secrets.
school is more flexible than the North American school.
Is that your
British school
experience?
can
Yeah.
accept a Cambridge exam, can accept. There is a many different of the English testing, English tests.
Mhm.
So it will accept one. But when we're talking about North American school, North American school only will accept most of them, not all, will accept only TOEFL. And
Yeah.
even though the TOEFL score maybe it's 17 or 65, yeah, from 120.
Mhm.
Will accept
Yeah,
only.
yeah. No, I agree, and I think perhaps 10 years ago, it was very much the case that North American schools would say, okay, well, we just want the TOEFL score. I think the British Council today would say, well, you'll see a lot more American schools accepting IELTS scores. And again, we just, if there's a particular school in mind or a particular, of course, area of study we have in mind, we need to do our homework and find out what each school is looking for. So yeah. Well, anyway, let's do some practicing today. And yes, let's look at part 2. Remind me again. Who can tell me what kinds of things are they going to ask you? What kinds of questions do they ask in part 2 of the speaking section? And that's for anybody. Okay, well, it could be, I mean, there are lots of things they could ask about. I think I have some, well, I have like 50 examples right here. We know they could ask about any time in your life. They could ask about your early childhood. They could ask about your time in school, your time in college or university. They could ask about your experience in work right now. And they could ask about your future as well. They could ask you to kind of to speculate. It could be about work or education, but also equally, it could be a question about entertainment or leisure, about a favorite book, a favorite piece of music, and very importantly, it could be about the people in your life. It could be about a member of your family that you're closest to, or a best friend, or someone who you would most like to go on holiday or on a trip with. And the idea with both parts 1 and 2, and well, all of the parts, in fact, of the IELTS exam, these are questions that in terms of the information, you should find it relatively simple to come up with your answer. Of course, the challenge is going to be to phrase that in a second language, to talk about that in English, and to use your good pronunciation to be clear, and to talk in a natural pace, to make good word choice. And that's not necessarily about using the most advanced vocabulary, but simply to use the most appropriate words, and the appropriate ones are the ones that give the best description. And if you're describing something well with good examples, if you're pronouncing well, using a good speed, if your grammar's good, with all those things, and good intonation as well, of course, if you're doing all those things, you're making it much easier for the examiner to understand your answer. And the easier you make it for the examiner to understand, the better your score is going to be, right? So they could talk about education and work and books and music and sport and travel and food, all kinds of things. And they're looking for you to, number 1, answer the question. Number 2, they want you to either to sort of, well, really to back up and explain why, right? Part 2, and you could say all everything in an English speaking exam is really about the why. Give a direct, start off with your straight answer. You can talk about the circumstances around that answer, and then give them 2 or 3 reasons why that's your answer, and you give them the reasons, and you give them details underneath that. How much time do you have to give your answer for part 2?
3-4 minutes.
Well, it's 3 or 4 minutes for the whole part 2, but of course they give you 1 minute to prepare. So how long do you have to speak? What's your limit?
1 minute.
A little bit more. It's I mean, you know what? You could answer the question in 1 minute, and that might be okay. But the amount of time they give you, and they'll be very clear during the exam. They'll say, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you 1 to 2 minutes to answer that question." So you'll know, and of course you'll know, especially because you've prepared in the correct way. But also on the day, I mean, if you're nervous, they'll tell you how much time you have. So you have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. We know in the TOEFL exam, if you run over time,
Yes.
then that recording just stops, and those words are gone forever. In the IELTS exam, yes, you have a human to speak to, but if you run over time, if you take more than 2 minutes, they're going to stop you. They're going to say, "Oh, thank you," and then they'll move on to part 3. So I don't think there's much difference between the TOEFL and the IELTS in that regard. You know, you still have to keep yourself within those limits. Oh, see a cat behind me there on screen. You know, try not to disturb us too much. And I'll try not to lose my train of thought too much as well. It's very important to stay within those parameters. And with part 2, yes, you've got a minute to prepare. So practice with questions, and you can find IELTS questions everywhere. You know, it's not a secret list. You can do a web search and find lots of these questions. Practice answering these questions, and so important, be strict. Be strict with yourself. Give yourself 1 minute to prepare, and of course you'll find how much note-taking you can do in a minute, how much is helpful, and it's different for all students. So I'm not going to say, you know, oh, keep it to 3 words or keep it to 6 words. Find the best thing for you, because you've all studied in the past, you've all taken notes, and you're going to know better than me. You're going to know better than any IELTS preparation teacher as well, because that's about how you prepare. But we can help you with a realistic practice, and that's something we're going to do today, right? So with your minute preparation, time yourself. When you're practicing here, or when you're practicing independently, or with a partner, be strict with those 60 seconds. Don't take 5 minutes to think about these questions. It's not going to help. Right from the start, use that 60 seconds, make it realistic, and when you're giving your answer, again, be strict with the timing. Give yourself 1 to 2 minutes. It's possible to answer these questions in a minute. Most of the time, I would expect you're going to need 1.5 minutes, because you've got the question, and then you've got 3 or 4 points underneath that question, and you're going to need to cover all those points. You don't need to cover them in that order, but it's important to cover it, to make sure you give a full and comprehensive answer. And these questions are designed that you're going to need between 1 and 2 minutes, right? So if you finish and it's 1 minute on the dot, well, maybe it's okay. But also we need to check, because there might be 1 or 2 things that you've missed out. Well, let's start, shall we? I want to make sure you've got plenty of time to do this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, because you've got the question and the 3 or 4 points, I'm going to try and share my screen with you so you can see a large font version. In the actual exam, they will give you a card. So they'll read out the question, they'll hand you the card, and it'll have the question and the 4 points. So you'll have 1 minute to look at the question, and those. Oh, I think someone's alarm went off. You'll have the question and answer. You know, to look at those points within 1 minute. So I want to share my screen with you, and I hope this will work out all right. Let me see. Oh, and hang on, I need to pick someone. So, Ahmed Zizo, are you happy to do the first practice with us this morning?
Yes, of course. I will
All
try.
right.
I will
Okay.
try.
Very good. And well, that's all I'm looking for. So you're going to have, and everyone, when I put this question on the screen, of course I'm going to ask Ahmed to answer the question, but please everybody take that 1 minute to practice. Take that 1 minute to practice taking the notes as well, and think about the structure of your answer, and then we can listen to Ahmed. We can talk about the good things he does. We can talk about anything they need to work on, and then we'll move on to another practice. And for each one, I'm going to give a different question. Okay, so we'll get through as many questions and as many students as possible today. So let me see. I hope this works. Oh, I do a different one. There we go. Okay, share the screen. Okay, Ahmed, first question. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you. That's reassuring. I appreciate it. All right, well, okay, I'm going to start the practice now. Ahmed, please, I would like for you to describe a newspaper or magazine you enjoy reading. Here's your question card. There are 4 points beneath the question. Please include answers to those points within your answer. You have 1 minute to prepare your answer. Your 1 minute begins now.
Yes. Should I begin? Can I begin?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, please begin your answer now.
Usually, every month, I'm interesting to read the scientific magazine which talking about the scientific advanced in all over the world. It's talking about pharmacy advancement and medicine advancement in North America and also in a British country. It's published every month, and you can access it through the internet, or you can access it by the hard copy as you wish, but there is a subscription. You must pay this subscription. The most interesting part in this magazine is the pharmacy section, because I am very happy to read this section, because I am a pharmacist and I am willing to the most advanced thing in my career to be very contribute to my work, and that's all what I want to say.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Very nice answer. I like that. Well, first of all, we look at that question. Let's see. Trying to bring it up again. Oh, there we go. Ahmed, a question for you. First of all, when we look at that question, is that an easy question or a difficult question? I mean, for you, what do you think?
It's easy. يعني kind. I'm poor.
Okay,
Yeah.
and tell me, we've got the we've got all those points. We've got what kind of newspaper, which parts of it do you read, when and where do you read it, explain why you enjoy reading it. You took about, I mean, 1 minute and 3/4, I think. So that was a good amount of time. You were within the limit, which was good, and you were above a minute as well, which is that sort of comfortable time, I think, to answer the question. When we look at those 4 points, did you answer all 4 points?
Yes, maybe. Yes.
Maybe you did. You know what? I think you pretty much did. I think I'm always going to ask the question because we have to be honest here. It's so important you know, they give you a card with 4 points. We know we have to make an answer to all 4 of those points. If we don't, it's not a full answer. And if it's not a full, complete answer, we're going to lose points on the response. Okay. Let me check my own listening skills here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. You talked about the kind of magazine. You definitely covered which parts. We talked about the sort of pharmaceutical section. There was a science magazine. I thought your details on you have to pay a subscription. You can buy the hard copy. You can read it online. I thought that was the most fluent.
Yes, thank you.
Part of your answer. I thought that sounded very confident, and it was very clear as well. I thought there were a couple of parts where you were having to work quite hard to really explain yourself or explain your answer. And I think the last part, explain why you enjoy reading it. I mean, I understood about your point. This is your area of expertise. You want to make a contribution to this part of science.
Career.
Yeah, so exactly in your career. So I understood those points, but there was there was some hesitation there, and I think you were working quite hard to come up with some of the vocabulary and some of the explanation there. And I would say if there's 2 areas where we absolutely know, we have a good chance of something like this coming up, it's work and it's studies. So if there are 2 areas that students here think, okay, well, what can I really expect them to ask about? It's going to be your career, or your job, or your profession, and it's going to be, what did you study? Because if you think of a typical IELTS candidate, either they want to pursue further education, or they want to emigrate, or they have a profession. So they all tend to. I mean, we've all studied. We've all studied at university, or college, and we're all doing really all doing a professional job. So it's very likely. And in part 1 of the exam, they're going to say, "Oh, are you a student, or do you work?" And they'll ask you. I guarantee it. They'll ask you questions about that as part of the warm up. So,
maybe I miss the part that linked to my education, continuing my education. Yes, of course, I miss this part.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity for you to include maybe 1 or 2 lines about because I think it would be quite simple for you to say, oh well, I've always been interested in this subject. Yeah,
it's true.
So,
I will continue my education in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, so you've got an option there to talk about these things. So I thought you answered the points. Pronunciation was mostly good. I understood the majority of what you were saying, and I think the highlight for me was when you described the kind of magazine it is and how you gain access to that, the online or the hard copy, and all those, and the subscription details you talked about. I like that a lot. I think that last thing, if you had this question a second time, I would be looking for you to improve your description of why.
Yes, thank you very much.
I understood the main point, but I would be looking for more details about your job and yes, your education as well. So hey, I got to tell you that you were the first student today in this class. So thank you for being the first one. All right, let me see. Oh, and I want to say hello to Fabrizio. Good to see you here today.
Hello.
All right. Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right, now let me see. Oh, who's that? Oh, is that Fabrizio?
Hello. Yes, I am here.
Sorry, my screen. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Michaela, are you happy to do our second practice today?
Yes, I'm very happy.
Michaela, are you happy? Yep. Oh, very
yes,
good. Excellent. I'm going to tick your name. Good stuff. Okay, so just as before, I'm going to put the question on the screen so my computer can handle the excitement. And there we go. Oh, okay. Let me see. Sorry, 1 second. Screen share. Of course, it's not this one. I am sharing the screen, and then we're going to move on to a different one. But first of all, can especially Michaela, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, I can see.
Excellent. Okay. So it's not that question we're looking at. I'm going to move on to the next one, and we're going to start our practice. And please, again, everybody, take the opportunity to take your 60 seconds and plan out and structure your answer. It's such good practice to prepare and work on that part of the of part 2, because really it's half the challenge is to take a good note. Half the challenge is to think of your answer and plan out the structure. And the better you do with that, the easier you're going to find the 1 to 2 minutes of actual speech. So so important to work on that. And it's not, for some people, it's not the most natural thing to do, to plan out an answer in 60 seconds. People don't ask you to do that at a party or at a bar and things like that. So it's artificial. We need to practice and prepare to get better at this. So Michaela, here is the question I'm going to give you. A good question. And Michaela, let me know, of course, if the screen isn't clear. Michaela, I would like for you to describe something healthy you enjoy doing. There are 4 points underneath that question. Please include those points in your answer. I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare. Your 1 minute begins now. Oh,
that's okay.
I lost the question. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, there's chaos today. Just one more technical hit. Let's see, where are we? I think it was number 8, wasn't it? I am so sorry.
Yes.
that won't happen in the exam. Invisible ink or something. I don't know. Michaela, please begin your answer when you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Excellent. Please go ahead.
Yes. I like take care about myself, and I like running and cooking, because I think that these 2 things are very important to take care. I like running with my friends 2 or 3 times a week, and I like running in my city, and when it is possible, I like to run in the park. And I like cooking too. I like cooking with my family, and especially with my mother, because she's a very good cook. I like to cook in my home, in my kitchen, and share the food with my relatives, with my father, with my friends, and with my brother.
Okay.
And I think that cooking is very important for health, because if you can choose the food that you put in on, you can take care about yourself. I think it is enough.
Okay.
I hope so.
Thank you, Michaela. And I mean, part of the examiner's job is, again, especially in part 2, is just to not interrupt. So it's actually a very good idea, if you're finished, to say, and that's all I have to say, or that's enough. I mean, I know it can feel a little strange to sort of say that, to make that formal ending to part of a conversation, if you like. But no, a very good idea, and of course helps me as well to know when you're finished. Okay, well, first of all, let's have a look about that. What do you think of a question like that, Michaela? Is that an easy one or a more difficult one for you?
I think that it was not too much difficult, but you have to yes, but you have to choose very well the topic, because you could say
Right. Okay.
yes, I like to take care and I like to run. I don't want to smoke, and then you maybe you need much more there 2 or 3 minutes to talk about this.
Now, and let's look back at the question. You've got what you do, where you do it, who you do it, why it's healthy. Did you answer all 4 points?
What do you do? Where do you do? Yes, I think so.
I think so too. I think we always need to ask ourselves at the end. Let's make sure. Let's check that something's so good. And of course, if you when you're practicing, use the cell phone, or you can get a free program on your laptop. Very, very easy. No excuses now these days in 2013 not to record ourselves practicing these. And so after we have a practice, play it back, and the questions we're going to ask are, did I answer the question right? Number 1. Number 2, is it easy to can I understand what I'm saying in English, and would the examiner understand? So we're really did I answer it? Is it clear? And then of course we can also listen for well, am I speaking at a natural pace? Is my pronunciation clear? Is there other hesitations, or is it fluent? Is it coherent? We can use our own practices as really the best preparation materials you can find. Sorry, 1 second. I like the details you gave us, Michaela. I thought you went in some very strong detail, especially with the cooking. I would say that when the question is describe something healthy, I mean you talked about 2 things. You talked about running, you talked about cooking, and I've never heard cooking as the answer to that question. I think it's a great answer.
Yes, but
I think that's
mind that I'm Italian.
Well, true enough. Plenty of people cooking in the United States as well. But you're right. You're right. There is an Italian reputation for working in the kitchen. You're absolutely right. And I like that example. What I would say to you though is when you've got running, and then you're talking about the cooking, I would say pick one. Pick one of those things, because if they say describe something, they're really thinking about one thing. And the truth is, Michaela, you have enough to say with cooking that you don't even need to talk about the running. So choose one and go with it. They're expecting just to hear one thing, one healthy thing, and there are plenty you can talk about. I mean, as you demonstrated. With your cooking example.
Sorry, can you repeat it, please? There
You,
were just a bit of noise.
Oh.
Can you repeat it, please? There was just a bit of noise.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to try and I'm checking my microphones there. Oh yes, sorry. It's really just to say that you should choose one thing. If they're saying describe something healthy, sorry, 1 second. I am going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yes, I got it.
There we go. Sorry, yes. There we go. Sorry, pressing my button. Yeah, the best thing is just to choose one thing. And that's not a problem for you because you had plenty to talk about with the cooking side of your answer. Yes, so they're gonna expect one thing. Choose that one thing and stay consistent with that. But I like I think you did answer all 4 points with cooking. You talked about the 4, what it is, where, who, especially the who, and talking about it as a family and friends thing. And I really liked your explanation at the end. Why this is a healthy thing to do. I thought that was very clear. I could understand you very clearly and easily. So
yes, what about my pronunciation?
I think pronunciation is solid. I think I'm not concerned about the pronunciation. I think there are certain phrases that you would want to I'm sorry, one second. I'm having to, here we go. I'm trying to cut down the noise here.
Yes.
There we go. I'm sorry. Here we go. Just 1 minute there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about now. No, sorry. Okay, pronunciation was solid. It was key phrases. When we think you mentioned taking care, and taking care is that's a good thing to talk about. When we're talking about our health, we're going to take care of ourselves, and that will be that's when we know, okay, we're talking about a health thing.
Hello. Excuse me.
Yeah. 1 second. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. Talking about, okay, I'm going to take care of myself. If we say take care, that's more sort of being careful. So if you have a friend and they want to go out late at night, maybe they're by themselves, we could say, oh, I'll take care. Or perhaps someone's going on a journey, we can say take care. But if we're talking about our health, maybe exercise, maybe diet, of course, maybe cooking, that's more of a take care of ourselves, and that can also include, well, getting a good night's sleep, eating well, and just general health things. So you can use it, but you want to make it almost reflexive, and say, take care of myself, and that's the way you would use a phrase like. Thank you so much for putting up with some noise there, and also for being our second practice there. I appreciate it. I want to practice again with you at a future lesson. It's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for that. Excellent. All right. Okay. Again, I'm trying to work on the noise here, so we're gonna need to trying to do that. Let's see. All right, now let me see.
I want to ask a question, please.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Teacher. What do you mean by hesitation in the conversation?
Well, hesitation,
Yes, you have just told me that I have hesitation. What do you mean exactly by hesitation?
Hesitation is a gap between. Well, it can be a gap between sentences. But much more likely, if an examiner notices some hesitation, then it's the hesitation between clauses or between phrases in a sentence, and it's very normal to hesitate. I'm sorry. It's very normal to have hesitation, because especially when we're speaking live or speaking spontaneously. It's the most normal thing in the world, and native speakers, of course, will have hesitation. But if we have a minute to prepare our answer, I'm trying to mute the student and eject the student, but she keeps coming back. So it's very important to if you have a minute to prepare, then the examiner will expect you to not to have too much hesitation. So it's really just better fluency. And if you have a minute to think about what you're going to say, then we should expect in those 1 to 2 minutes that there's a more fluid answer. And that's something that any student is going to have to practice, because it's a difficult skill, a difficult part of what they're looking for. Even if you have the vocabulary and the grammar and the pronunciation, they're also looking for that extra level, which is just that fluency. And of course, some of the time we can use connecting phrases and what I like to call signposts to join up our ideas. And that can be, for example, saying, oh well, first and the second reason, or the final reason. We can use but and however and because and since. We can use these words to really join things up. And if we use those words, and these are not complicated, these are not advanced English words. They're some of the first words that we use, because they're the words that native English speakers use in a conversation or when they're telling a story, to make it easier for the listener to understand what we're talking about.
Yes, thank you very much.
So we can use things, and we can.
Very good.
Okay, no problem. That was okay, no problem at all. I want to tell me, Yi, are you there, and are you happy to practice with us today?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back. Okay, well, this next one is going to be for Yi, and I'm going to bring up the next question again. Please, everybody, take 1 minute to practice, and but I'll call on Yi to give me her answer. So, first of all, okay, now can everyone we're not going to do that one. We're going to do a different one, of course. But Yi, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. That's always the good answer. Now we're going to move on to a different question, though, and here it is. So I'll start the practice now. Yi, I would like for you to describe a song or a piece of music you like. Please take a look at those 4 points underneath the question and include those in your answer. I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare your answer. Please, 1 minute is going to start now.
Should I start?
Oh, are you ready? Okay. Sure. Please begin your answer when you're ready.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is a soft sound that this is a soft sound. It's a Chinese sound named as Lens of Star and the Moon. The sound sounds very blue and very soft, and explain like the ancient story. It's very beautiful fairy tales. It's like the world is so fantastic. It describes the girl meet a guy that they meet in the I forget the year course. They meet together, and the girl want to meet them in the thousands years later. It's kind of crazy. I think this song, when you hear it, or when you got very anxious, and the song can make you calm down and make you feel very, very peaceful inside. Oh my God.
Okay, are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You let me know when you get it. Yeah. Okay. So, Yi, so tell me now, is that what do you think? An easy question or a difficult question?
Yeah. Could hello?
Yeah.
No music.
Okay. Now let's have a look at the question. Okay. So we've got describe a song or a piece of music you like. Did you? I mean, I know you were working hard to give your answer, and it is, it's difficult. It's difficult to practice this. Of course, if we practice, it's all right. If we practice in the correct way, we're going to get better, right? And the only way to get better is to practice this. We can read about it all we want, but this is very important. You have to practice speaking your answers. That is the only way to get better. So I'm really grateful, Yi, that you practiced with us today, because it's the absolute best way to prepare for something like this and to improve your spoken English. So thank you for doing that. I got some very clear details about your answer, and there were some things with pronunciation that I wasn't quite sure about. When you gave the name of the song, I think you gave the name of the song in Chinese, and that's okay. But if you do that, and by the way, if it's a song that's specific to a country or specific to your first language, well, it makes sense, doesn't it, to give the first language name. But if you do that, also very important for us to assume, not because it's true, but because we should just assume that the examiner can't translate that, and so we're going to need to translate the name of the song for the examiner, so they know what it is.
The length of the star and the moon.
Okay. So well, now I know. Now I know. I liked your story about what the song was about. This girl. This is a very classical theme for a song, and the highlight for me, I thought the best part.
I do not know how to say it.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, I thought the best part of your answer was when you explained why you like it. So that last part, when you talked about being relaxing, and that if you're feeling anxious, you can listen to the song and it can calm you down. That was a very clear part. It was passionate isn't the word. It was sort of enthusiastic part of your answer, and it felt very real to me. And also very interesting, because you picked a song that that is native to one country, and you can talk about it, and if you can describe it and make it clear, and talk about some themes that are really universal, the ideas that we're talking about. I think that can really help, because of course the examiner, well, it's their job to listen to a lot of students in one afternoon or one morning, and if you give them an interesting answer, it can only help. It can only be a good thing. So I liked that. I thought it was an original answer. It's going to be, if we think about things for you to work on, it'll be practicing the I see that in the chat box. Very nice. It's good to. It'll be important to practice that pronunciation, practice with your talking speed, and really practicing finding your best way to relax in a situation like this. And no teacher can really tell you how to relax, because we're all different, we're all unique, and there will be a lot of times in your life where you've found a way to be as relaxed as possible, because if you are tense or if you're anxious, it's very difficult to speak as well as you can speak, because any tension is going to be in your throat, and that can be really hard work to to speak if you're feeling nervous, because you're going to hear it here, and it's going to create more hesitation and a little bit more anxiety. If you sound relaxed, and sometimes we have to fake this in an exam, right? Because I don't feel relaxed all that much if I'm in an exam. But if we can pretend that we are, it's going to help us. We can persuade ourselves that we're relaxed, but also, especially in the speaking part of this exam, or the TOEFL as well, if you can create that sense of calm and relaxation, then the examiner is going to increase your score, because a relaxed voice just sounds better. It sounds clearer, it sounds louder, and the pronunciation is going to be better as well. So it's so important, and I mean that for everybody here. You want to be as relaxed as possible. One of the best ways to relax in an exam is to be well prepared. So of course that's correct practice and correct preparation. I'm out of time. Thanks so much for practicing with us today. Please come back, everybody. We're going to do this class. Actually, we're doing this class again in a few hours. But we're going to do more of these on VerbLink, so please check the schedule. Please come back. I want to practice much more with you. We're going to continue with part 2 of the exam, but we'll do some part 1, we'll do some part 3 so that you can have some practice and we can have some discussion about all of the speaking section for IELTS. Thanks again. It was really great to hear all of you today, and especially the students who practiced with me. Thank you for being brave, and you all did really well. So I will see you all again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for
Thank you.
See you all.
hearing us.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah.